It is Sunday night, and you know what that means. It's the Sunday Night League, and we're here for round number 5 of the GTE Championship, the season finale at Suzuka. We are here live on Sunday nights, as always at 8 o'clock. We are the Sunday Night League. Like, share, and subscribe to get more information from us. But we are here for an exciting title fight. Maybe not so much in the Drivers' Championship, but definitely in the Teams' Championship, where we have 3 teams on exactly the same points going into the final race of the season. So, the Drivers' Championship as it stands is Matt Psycho leads the championship with 100 points. He is 24 points ahead of Tiger, and it's 25 points to a win. Now, Matt Psycho is here, so he's basically guaranteed 2 points. So he's effectively won that championship by starting this race. DeWill is in 3rd place with 74 points, so only 2 points between him and Tiger. Penguino in the Genesis is only 4 points behind DeWill, so a big battle there for 2nd place between the Nissan of Tiger, DeWill in the Mitsubishi, and Penguino in the Genesis. Then we've got Bunnies in 5th place for Nissan. 6th is Digweed for Mitsubishi, after he did not appear last week. Is he in the lobby? Not yet. I have seen him about though, so I'm expecting to see him this week. Aloe is there for Genesis with 39 points. In 8th place is Rob on Drums with 36 points. Daz has got 30 points. In his Alfa Romeo, it will be the final race for that Alfa. I'm pretty sure he'll be happy to get rid of that. And in 10th place is Yokas, who unfortunately can't be here tonight because we had to run an extra week longer than we anticipated. So his place at Hyundai is taken by Pat. Pat returns as a super sub. Hopefully he will be here with us a little bit late because he was still finishing off his tea. Jim is in 11th. Thank you, Jim, for taking part in all the races that you have done with us and supporting us at the Sunday Night League. Wolfbane in 12th place. He returns, the team boss of Alfa Romeo. Returns to replace Noxie and AJ Wuhan. In 13th place is Jonovan. Unfortunately, he's unable to make it tonight for Nissan, and Nissan are only running 2 cars this evening. 14th place is Cinnamod, who is the Super Reserve. He's taking the Genesis this time out. He is there in the chat, I can see. 15th is Tiny Terror, unfortunately not able to make it tonight due to the hot conditions. 16th place is the team boss of Hyundai, Gazman. He had a very strong result last time out, and we'll be looking to continue that. AJ Wuhan, unfortunately unable to make it tonight, so we have a brand new driver for the Sunday Night League. It's Spec Mayer. He's driving for the Alfa Romeo team, and he will be entering shortly. It's his debut race. He's only entered this week as well in the Sunday Night League, so welcome Spec Mayer. Noxie in 18th place is in the Alfa Romeo, and in 20th place is Pat, who will be racing again, so he will not be last at the end of this race. So, the Teams Championship, this is where all the excitement is happening. We have 3 teams on 154 points. And they're led by Hyundai, who have won every single race this season thanks to Matt Psycho. He's on a perfect record. Can he make it 5 out of 5 in Suzuka? Nissan are then in 2nd place thanks to a 2nd place finish by Tiger last time out. And in 3rd place are Mitsubishi. They're the consistent team. They've got all their drivers here tonight as well, so they should have a good chance. Genesis are in with an outside chance. They're 20 points behind with 134 points. If everything goes their way, if they win 1, 2, 3, they can win the championship, depending on the results of the other drivers. And Alfa Romeo are at the bottom with 90 points. Wolfbane's season as a team boss has not gone particularly well. We are at Suzuka. This is a beautiful circuit. We have to finish here. It's the Sunday Night League. What do you expect? But it's going to get dark, and that is going to be the tricky situation for everybody in this race. They are going to be dealing with the darkness, but also, not only that, they have got the weather. The wet weather is back, and I've heard rumours that the wet weather radar does not work particularly well after the recent update. But we will see what happens. We're getting everybody into the chat and into the room. 5 minutes until qualifying. We're starting at 2010 for qualifying. So we've got 5 minutes, so let's just have a look in the chat. So we've got Mama Sykes, evening all. Evening, Jan. Good luck all. Endurance Nut, the team boss of Genesis. His Genesis team, he won the championship last season with Corvette, so there's a chance for them. Hey, you guys. Mika is in the chat. Nice to see you again, Mika. And Mika is going to be a team boss in Season 3 of GTE. She's saying evening. And Penguino saying, glad I could make it. Yes, there was a doubt for Penguino if he could make it into this race, but he is here. He's entering the race now as I speak. I've done 30-minute races and weather radar has worked fine, says Mika. So fingers crossed. Fantastic, Mika. Thank you very much on that update with the weather radar. So hopefully it will all work. Unfortunately, in the broadcast, we can't see it, but the drivers do rely on that. We saw at Spa in the first season of GTE that it was needed for that incredible downpour that we saw that race. Now, let's have a look as we're waiting for this race to begin and qualifying to start. Let's just run through the previous results. So a win in round number 1 by Matt Psycho and at the Red Bull Ring. He won quite dominantly, and he's had quite dominant victories all season. He's really hooked up with this Hyundai. The second round was Dragon Trail, and that was at the seaside with the Chicane of Death, which again was won by Matt Psycho. In round number 3, we went to Spa. We returned there, expecting high levels of rain, but it did not happen. We had no rain for that race, and Matt Psycho won again. Round number 4 was the round that happened twice. We had issues the first time we tried to run the race, and then we were able to run it. Just checking that I can see everybody on the track. It looks like I can. We're just waiting for Gazman to enter, and then we're waiting for Pat. Hopefully Pat will get here, because otherwise we won't be able to get the race underway. With him, I can't see Gazman. I'll just let Gazman know I can't see him. Gazman, I cannot see you. So we'll make sure that we get everything sorted out. If I can't see the drivers, then that means I can't start the race. So if Gazman is able just to reset himself, that would be fantastic. And we'll just see if by resetting that we can see him. So that buys us a little bit more time whilst we wait for Pat. I would hate for the Teams Championship to be decided by glitches. So is he there? Bruno's there? No, I still can't see Gazman. So we're waiting. We're about a minute away. So Gazman's just left the room. Pat's just entered the room. So we'll wait for Gazman. So we'll wait for Gazman, and then we will get qualifying underway. Thank you everybody that is watching live with us now. And let me know where you're watching. If it's the first SNL stream that you've seen, we're here every Sunday night. I say that. Next week we're not here. We are having a break, and then we are having a special one-off event at the Nordschleife, the Nürburgring, and that event is going to be one that is going to be slightly adjusted due to a lack of interest. We were going to run the Group 2, the Super GT cars, but at the moment there's not very many people entered. I suspect what we will do, we'll run a split race, our first split race possibly in Sunday Night League, but I need to have a look at that So we'll see, because people like the Group 3s. The GTE Championship is due to start in September. Brand new cars, brand new team bosses as well for GTE. As I said, Mika is expected to join us for that. And also Pat returns as a team boss. He was the BMW team boss last season, in season number 1. So he returns after a season driving as a reserve for many of the teams this season. Mainly for Hyundai with Gazman. Gazman returns, and I believe Endurance Nuts returns as well. And the 5th person, I believe, will be Cool Dude Boy, although I have had interest from other people that may wish to take part as well. So Cool Dude Boy also has said he may be a driver. So we've got quite a lot of interest already for season number 3. Oh, Speckman has left the lobby. Why has he done that? Okay. Just check if Gazman... Okay. Hopefully Speckmere enters the race. We've lost Speckmere now. We'll give it 2 minutes and then we'll go. So we'll see if Speckman Mir is okay. And then, here we go. So Speckmere is here. Gazman hopefully is here. He's just loading up the lobby now, he said. So, without further ado, we'll get this qualifying session underway. Thank you for everybody that is being patient and waiting for this. It is the season finale of GTE. We are ready to take on the championship. Season finale. 3 teams are expected to take on the team's championship. They are Nissan, Mitsubishi and Hyundai. They're here, they're ready to take on the challenge. But we are going to have to wait for Gazman. Okay, so qualifying is about to start. Gazman is having some issues, I think some technical issues, which are not helping. So I'm going to let them know qualifying starts now, because I can't delay the qualifying session any longer. We've already had some delays. Qualifying starts. I think Speckman has disappeared as well. You can see already the circuit is getting dark. Now, the tyre situation, all teams run the medium tyres, but the team bosses have a chance to put in the hards or the softs. So the hard running tired teams are Alfa Romeo and Mitsubishi. The soft runners are Genesis, Hyundai and Nissan, but if it rains they do not have to run both tyre compounds. However, if it remains dry, they do. So Tiger is coming out on the mediums. You can see him going through the S's, a little bit of a slide coming out of the S's right now, going down towards Degner 1 and Degner 2. These right-handers are trickier in these Group 3 cars. These GT cars slide a lot more than the downforce cars that we are used to seeing around here in Formula X, for example, in previous seasons. We are here, Suzuka, the hairpin. A great opportunity for drivers to make a move up the inside, but you hug the inside as the lead driver. It's tight and twisty. The exit is important out of there though, because we've got the long right-hander of 200R towards the spoon curve. And this is a tricky corner. Go just a little bit wide for Tiger, but then hug the exit. Off the power and then on the power. As soon as you see the curve on the exit, you can power along. So you can see how dark it is already here at Suzuka. Then we go to the infamous 130R. This is a fantastic corner. It's where Fernando Alonso famously overtook Michael Schumacher in that 2005 race. And down into the Casino Triangle, the chicane at the end of the circuit. Lots of curve being taken there by Tiger. He's setting himself up then to be the first driver through the pit lane on the medium tyres. Matt Psycho also on medium tyres. Daz is on medium tyres, but these are the softest tyres Daz can run. So Daz will be the first driver to set his time. He's being closely followed, I believe, by De Will. Evening all, says Salek. Salek, great to see you. Hopefully we'll see you back on track as well in Sunday Night League. Mika saying he did say his internet was playing up, so maybe we're going to have some issues, some glitches and some technical issues. So I believe they will be given points. It's a glitch that has resulted in them being able to take part. But we see Daz going through the S's. He has got De Will closely following him. Looking very good, feeling more confident after getting on the podium at Lego Maggiore, but we can see De Will is going very quickly in comparison to Daz. He's able to hold more confidence in this four-wheel drive Mitsubishi Evo. Speckman is into the lobby, so he'll be able to take part in qualifying. Gasman, I believe, is having a technical issue. So De Will is all over the back of Daz. So, Sarek saying, I will be back next week. That's infuriating. That game has decided to screw me tonight, says Gasman. I will return next season, I hope, says Sarek. It's great news to see Sarek back in the driver roster. These teams are decided by a auction at the start of the season. Well, De Will has got a better exit than Daz out of Spoon, so we're going to see a drag race between the two. They're both on qualifying laps, so De Will gets ahead of Daz. So De Will running very wide and actually backs out of the corner. So Wolfbane actually behind his teammates. So the Alphas have got Daz and Wolfbane. So Gasman will get disconnection points because basically not his fault, and Speckmere also will get disconnection points. He's getting issues. So Wolfbane goes quicker than Daz, as we then see Pat go quicker than them. He goes into provisional pole position then. Pat in the high Hyundai, he's on the soft tyres whilst Wolfbane is on the mediums. Digweed puts his Mitsubishi up into third place now. Rob on drums into fifth in his Mitsubishi. Sixth then for De Will, who made that error coming out of 130R. He ran wide. Tiger is on the soft tyres in his Nissan. Expect a quick lap from Tiger. He was very competitive at Lego. Led the race early on, but was caught up by Matt Psycho. There is his GT87 teammate, Cinemod. Great to see him back on track. He's driving the Genesis this time out. He's in a red Genesis as well, so we've got two red Genesises because Cinemod is replacing Jim, who was in the blue one, but he's got a red one today. It's okay. I blame the person who makes the liveries. That person needs sacking. There is a Lowy. He's had a very competitive season this season. He wasn't too competitive last time out at Lego, but he's been around 5th, 6th places, sniffing good points every single round. Speckmere is having issues. Speckmere, if you missed the race start, I would stop trying to enter because I think it's going to be an issue. Matt Psycho at the moment is 2 seconds up on his teammate. Yep, Speckmere is not getting out of this. Penguino, interestingly enough, is on an out lap. So Penguino, I suspect, only having one chance at this. So Pat currently on pole position. He is going quicker. He's going a second quicker than his best time. Wolfbane is up ahead though. Wolfbane will be crossing the line first in his Alfa Romeo. Let's have a look how much time they've got left. They've only got 3 minutes 40 seconds left of the session. Wolfbane using the tighter line. He goes 1.2 seconds quicker than Pat. De Will goes up into second place. What does Pat do though? Pat, oh, not quite. Goes into third, consolidates himself. Is that really Pat, says Mika? It is Pat. Pat is flying. Pat is a fantastic driver. He doesn't get a chance to show it often, but when he does come out to play, he's really improved. Cinnamon puts himself up into second place in that Genesis. So the Genesis looking quick. Matt Psycho, though, goes fastest. He goes a 1:59.3 in the Hyundai. He's 2 seconds quicker than Wolfbane. Matt in this car is just gelled. It has worked so well for him. Gasman saying super sub Pat. He is a super sub. Wolfbane sliding that Alpha. We're used to hearing that. Let's have a look down the field then. So Pat in fifth. Sixth is Tiger. So he went to 2:02.4. Digweed there is off the circuit. Coming out of the S's. He's trying to keep out the way of everybody. Rob on drums, his teammate, in 8th place. Daz down in 9th place as it stands. Aloe in 10th. Ooh, that is Aloe coming across the slow Digweed. There is Brunnies. Brunnies has had some errors already. He's not having the cleanest run so far. Penguino also struggling for a clean run as Digweed gets out of the way, but having a clean run is Matt Psycho. He's currently on pole by 2 seconds. Is it going to be another race where Matt Psycho is just untouchable? As you can see, Wolfbane pushing hard, running wide out of 130 yards. That's too wide, he's lost time. What's his teammate Daz going to do? Daz down in 9th place. He's been harassed by De Will. What can Daz do as he gets along to the end of the circuit? He goes quicker, but only up into 8th as De Will puts himself into 3rd place. No, Pat puts himself up into 3rd place. Pat in 3rd. Super sub Pat in 3rd place. 1:20 left on the clock. So this could be the standings going in. No, Wolf Tigers put himself up into 2nd place in the Nissan. So at the moment, in terms of the team championship, we have got Matt Psycho on pole in the Hyundai with Tiger in the Nissan in 2nd. The next best car is the Hyundai. Oh no, Penguino's put himself up into 2nd place. Fantastic lap there by Penguino. He's 1.2 seconds off Matt Psycho though, to show you how quick Matt Psycho is going. As it stands, Aloe is setting good times. He's put himself up into 5th in his Genesis. 6th then is Bunnies, who's improved. Pat in 7th now, so Pat dropping down a little bit. De Will off the circuit at Degner 2. Cinnamod in 9th place, coming through. He had a poor lap on his last lap. Digweed in 10th place. He's only had one run. And Daz down in 11th place. It's unusual for Daz. And Rob on drums in 12th. And I think that will be it, because we've only got 10 seconds left of the race. Matt Psycho on pole then from Penguino and Tiger. That fight for 2nd in the championship is going to go down to the wire. We are going to start this race in 7 seconds. The light will come back. We will start into the sunset. What we do not want as a driver is rain. But who knows what will happen next, everybody. Moves around, so we have Matt Psycho on pole position with Penguino in 2nd, Tiger in 3rd, Wolfbane 4th, Aloe 5th, 6th is Bunny, 7th Pat, and 8th is De Will. Here we go. Hopefully the lights go. Oh, it's going to do this weird thing where I suddenly become Matt Psycho again, so I have to exit and then go into spectate mode and then show all the information, the driver names. Oh, Matt Psycho is being swamped though by Tiger and Penguino. Penguino and Tiger fighting through turn 1. Penguino keeps 2nd place. Tiger's gone off. Tiger's gone off the circuit. Oh no, that is the Nissan down into 11th place from the front of the pack. Matt Psycho leading then from Penguino when Wolfbane is in third, Aloe in fourth. Fifth is Pat, sixth is Bunny, seventh to Will, eighth is Digweed. A great start for Digweed. Ninth is Daz. Good start for him as well. Cinnamon not having the best of starts. And Tiger, the worst of them all, down from third place. Oh, he's having all sorts of issues. Oh, Rob on drums has gone off as well. What has happened there? As we see, Matt Psycho leading from Penguino, from Wolfbane and Aloe. Pat, 6th, 5th, 6th is DeWill, and 7th. Climbing up the field is Digweed. So Digweed climbing up the field using the medium tyres. Have a look what the tyre situation is for everybody else. Cinnamon there in 8th, getting a poor exit though, out of the corner, which means that we go on board with Daz, out of the hairpin, through 200R. Down towards Spoon for Daz, chasing down Cinnamon in the Genesis. See the Genesis just a bit heavier at the top. Cinnamon actually running wide though on the exit, so that means Daz is going to have a good run on Cinnamon in the Genesis. Pat is just up ahead of us, but Daz on the inside of 130R. Can he make the move stick? No, he cannot. Cinnamon holds the position. Oh, but has a bit of a slide and nearly loses it, but catches it as they go into the triangle chicane. Great save. Aloe is down into 7th place, so the two Mitsubishis, 5th and 6th for DeWill and Digweed, but 4th place is Pat, 3rd is Wolfbane, and 2nd is Penguino, who is all over the back of Matt Psycho. They're both on medium tyres. So Penguino putting the pressure on Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho sliding that Hyundai. Penguino's had a very good season this season. Ooh, a little bit of a flash from Penguino through the S's. I don't know if Penguino uses a wheel or a controller. If he uses a controller, he may be just pressing the controller slightly too much and it causes a flash. But he's putting the pressure on Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho is not having it his own way here in the early stages here in Suzuka. See, it's already dark. Oh, Penguino nearly losing it on the entry of the chicane. We've seen Penguino slide that Genesis all season. He's sliding it again. Thank you everyone that's joined us here at Sunday Night League and is watching the race live. Thank you very much. Like, share, subscribe if you have not done so already. It really does help us. We are at around 100 subscribers already in this very new league. We're still very small in terms of everything. 100 subscribers, we get great views. Thank you everyone that views us. Tell us who you're supporting in the chat as well. I know a lot of the team bosses are here. Gazman is in the chat, so is Endurance. No, Gazman watching his man leading this race. Matt Psycho is won the championship in terms of the Drivers' Championship, but he is pushing to help Hyundai win the Constructors' Championship, the Team Championship. Gazman was the winner in Formula X with his Ferrari team in the final season of that on GT Sport, and he's trying to get it in GTE after Matt Psycho won it with the Corvette of Endurance Nut. Endurance Nut's latest driver though, Penguino, in 2nd place, really pushing hard against Matt Psycho. Is Matt Psycho fuel saving? He is a little bit, but not too much compared to Penguino. So we're a quarter of a tank just over on lap number 3, so maybe 3 laps, so 12 lap stint. So not quite enough to get us to, yes, 2 stopper would work absolutely fine. So Penguino currently on those medium tyres, as is Matt Psycho. They've both got the soft as an option as well, so they're pushing hard. I technically have 3 teammates in this race, says Mika. So supporting all of them. Oh, tell us who they are, Mika. For those that don't know, can't see the chat. Who are you supporting? So Wolfbane is in 3rd place. He is keeping the pressure on as well. We've got 1 second between the top 3 in this race. It shows how great this game can be with some tuning. because these three cars are very different to each other. Wolfbane's gone off though at the exit of Spoon, so that has lost him a lot of time. He can't get back on. He cannot get back on. De Will is going to pass him on the exit. He does. De Will then in the Mitsubishi, putting himself up into third place. That will help him in his fight for second place. At the moment, Tiger is the big loser in all of that. De Will setting purple sectors, so Wolfbane has dropped down after his mistake. He's lost about 4 or 5 seconds as a result of his turn at Spoon. Mistake. Digweed in 5th place. Good position for Digweed. As it stands, Aloy in 6th. Mika has said it's Tiger, Cinnamod and Matt. So not bad drivers at all to be supporting. Daz in 7th place, just setting his fastest lap. There is Cinnamod, the aforementioned Cinnamod by Mika. We could be happy to see this. Cinnamod in 8th place with Pat in 9th. Having a big tussle with bunnies. We're not used to seeing bunnies this far down in the race at this stage. He's down in 10th place with Tiger behind him. Chris Boo will be watching this and thinking, what on earth is happening? A week ago, this time, I was watching my two drivers leading the race. They're currently 10th and 11th. All medium tyres at the moment. Pat is on the softs. We'll see how long those softs last. Tiger had a bit of an issue at the start of the race, and so did Rob on drums. Rob on drums a long way back from Tiger, but Penguino keeping the pressure on Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho having connection issues, it looks like. So that is allowing Penguino to keep the pressure on. De Will there on the medium tyres in his Mitsubishi, being chased with Wolfbane, but Wolfbane has got the problem of having Digweed right behind him. These drivers are on medium tyre. Daz is on the mediums as well, and has the pressure of Cinnamod behind him. Where has Aloy dropped to? So Pat is the only driver, it seems to be, on soft tyres. As Bunnies is also on mediums. Aloy is on mediums. Tiger is on mediums. Tiger looks like he's had no, he's not had another issue, just that far behind. And Rob on drums is also on mediums, so the only driver on soft is Pat. Everybody else is on mediums. Oh, Matt Psycho is really having to defend. No, Penguino! Oh, Penguino touched the grass on the exit of turn number 1 and has lost 2 positions to De Will and Wolfbane. Matt Psycho will be breathing a sigh of relief. We'll see these 4 cars though. De Will, Wolfbane and Digweed are very close to each other. Digweed pushing up against Penguino. Penguino having major issues and losing the position to Digweed. It's as if Penguino's just got the handbrake turned on. He is sliding everywhere in that Genesis. Going into Degner 1 and Degner 2 to see a bit of dirt kicked up by Digweed in the Mitsubishi. He's using a lot of the curb on the exit. That might mean Penguino has a chance going into the hairpin. When he thinks about it, definitely carrying more speed into the corners is Penguino. Let's see, his tyres looking pretty good actually. Not too much wear. As we then see Penguino, he's got a good chance here on board with him against Digweed going into Spoon. Keeping it tight. Or Digweed running a little bit wider. Sliding on the exit. Will Penguino get the opportunity going into 138? See how dark it is here in Suzuka now. Only on lap number 5. It's a proper night race this. As you can see the sun setting and the stars coming out to play. Enter 138 would be a brave move by Penguino. If he made the move, he's on the outside though. He's ahead of Digweed, but Digweed is keeping the position. He's in 4th. He's got Penguino all over the back of him. Penguino has a very good exit out of the final corner. Has a bit of a slide. That is traditional now for Penguino. Penguino unable to take part in season 3 of the Sunday Night League GTE because of school. teenage sensation in the Genesis. And a fantastic season. He's trying to push for second place in the championship, but he's got DeWill ahead of him. DeWill is second place, so just 4.5 seconds behind Matt Psycho, so he's keeping the pace. He's actually lapping a little bit quicker than the race leader. The race leader pushing in the top position for Hyundai. He'll be pleased he doesn't have Penguino fighting all over the back of him yet. But there is DeWill, second place. Approaching Degner 2. He's closing up on Matt Psycho, and he's setting purple sector into sector 2. Wolfbane keeping the pressure on, the Alfa Romeo team boss. He's got a podium already in this car. He came second at Spa. It got a podium last time out at Lego for Daz. So the car is on a good run of form. Digweed in fourth place. He's got Penguino still all over the back of him. So they go into Spoon for the second time, fighting for fourth place. Digweed just has a little bit of a wider line than Penguino through here. Penguino just fighting that car so much. Still on board with the American. Top American in the race. In fifth place, chasing down the British driver of Penguino. You can tell that from at the back of his car. All the Mitsubishi drivers have their nation flags in the rear window. A little bit of jittering through Casino Triangle. Again, Penguino unable to take advantage. He seems to have better traction coming out of the corner. We've got Pat in sixth. Oh, Bunnies has gone straight on though at Casino, and Bunnies is having an uncharacteristically messy race. He's down in 10th place now, 10th and 11th again for the Nissans. As the pressure got to the Nissan crew. Aloe in 8th place with Cinnamod, his teammate for this race, up in 7th place. So Genesis looking pretty strong. They've got 5th, 7th and 8th on the road as it stands, but as it stands, Gasman, despite having his technical issue and unable to take part in the race, he's looking pretty happy, I would say. His man is leading the race, and Pat is in 6th place. It's a very strong result for Hyundai in the team championship. But Matt Psycho and DeWill setting roughly similar times. This is a challenging circuit in the dark. You can see Wolfbane coming out of the hairpin, on board with the Alpha team boss. Through 200R. The rain could happen at any moment as well here. There's a threat of rain. Tried a few laps around here earlier, says Mika, and found the track rather slippy. Yes, I think cold conditions as it goes into night will really bring out the challenge of Suzuka. Those lap times though by Wolfbane, 201.9, a 201.6, a 201.7. It looks like he's going a bit quicker this lap as well. You can see the mistake lap as we look there. So he'd be on the back of Matt Psycho. He'd be about half a second behind him. So running very well, and maybe a second, but running some good lap times. A 201.4, Matt Psycho 201.6. So we've got some very quick drivers. DeWill has caught up Matt Psycho a little bit. No, he's lost a little bit of time actually. He lost about 10th. So Wolfbane, the driver on the move as it stands in terms of lap time. Penguino though going off on the exit of turn 1. Keeps hold of it, pointing the right way though. But loses the pressure on Digweed. Digweed up in 4th place. That looks pretty good actually for Mitsubishi. What am I talking about? Mitsubishi 2nd and 4th, that would be 40 points. Matt Psycho with 25 at the top, with Pat 39. So actually Mitsubishi, as it stands, just ahead of Hyundai in the team's championship. As it stands, Gasman will be cursing the fact that he has had internet issues with that information. Penguino 5th, 6th is Cinnamod, 7th is Pat now, so Pat has lost a position to Cinnamod. Pat at 2:06.9 for him on his last lap, so a little bit of an error for Pat, with Daz coming up through the field. Daz racing up into 8th place with Bunnies in 9th, and 10th is Tiger. Lowy has had a sloppy lap on lap number 7. Yes, he did, a 2:13.0, so 10 seconds off his best. On the last lap, he's running those medium tyres. Rob on drums is in the 2:04s. As it stands in his Mitsubishi's on his own, is 23.5 seconds behind Lowy. Still running. He knows how important it is for his team to keep in the race. He's a minute down on the leader Matt Psycho, who has set a 2:02.4 and a 2:02.7 for DeVille. So Matt Psycho just pulling out a few tenths here and a few tenths there, but you can see DeVille has got the headlights of the Alfa Romeo of Wolfbane all in his business. Penguino and Cinnamod in a Genesis 5.6, and Digweed in 4th place on his own. You can hardly see the cars, it's that dark now. It is really a night race here at Suzuka. It is the Endurance Championship though, this is the GTE Championship. It's Endurance because we race in all conditions, in all weathers, and all lighting. Nothing more challenging than the S's. Oh, and Digweed's running wide on the S's, but I think he's kept it pointing the right way. Yes, he has. Showing how challenging it is around one of the most challenging circuits in the world in the daytime. It's even worse when it's dark and you've just got the headlights helping you round the circuit. You can see the headlights of the cars in front just coming out of the hairpin for Digweed. The wind speed at the moment, 3.3 meters per second. Headwind into turn number 1. See Digweed approaching spoon curves as Matt Psycho is going down the back straight, and DeWill and Wolfbane are having their fight for 2nd place. Well, let's work this clever. They could approach Matt Psycho and catch him up if they work together. If they fight each other hard though, then they might not. DeWill has definitely got the speed, but Wolfbane looks quicker. Wolfbane, ooh, I thought he was going to make the move into the triangle. Thinks better of it. Maybe enough to put off DeWill in the Mitsubishi. Haribo Mitsubishi. Going down the home straight. It's pitch black here at Suzuka. Thank you everybody that is watching this race here in the dark. This is what endurance racing is. Matt Psycho losing a bit of time though to the drivers behind him. He looks like he's made an error. Coming through the S's, has he? It seems to be sliding the car a little bit more than usual. So you can then see the cars behind DeWill and Wolfbane pushing hard through the S's. They go past the Ferris wheel. There's no lights on the Ferris wheel. Which is surprising to see. Thank you everyone that's joined us. We are the Sunday Night League. We're here every Sunday for GT7 action. Like, share and subscribe. Tell us where you're watching. Oh, Digweed sliding into Degner 1. Keeps hold of it though into Degner 2. Cinnamod up into 5th place because we've lost Penguino. Where has Penguino gone? Penguino, his preparation for this race hasn't been the best. Tiger gets himself up into 7th place. These Nissans look like they're wearing their tyres more than those of their opponents. Penguino there now in 9th place. So 9th for Penguino, 10th for Aloe, who's catching his teammate up now. So 2:21.1 for Penguino and a 2:12 for Penguino as well. So the consistency just isn't there tonight for Penguino. It's had a great season overall. Down in 9th place. Still in 2nd with Wolfbane chasing him. Pat now in 11th place with 2:28.3. has got Rob on drums right behind him. Pat has pitted, that is why. Oh, Rob has just hit the wall coming out of the hairpin. So Pat has pitted. So those soft tyres only did 9 laps for Pat. He's now on the mediums. We'll be hoping that he can get maybe a bit of rain in his car. Or has he done a different tactic to his teammate? Bob on drums, we saw having that issue. Matt Psycho losing time to DeWill. It's now the gap, and Penguino's left the room. So Penguino has left the room. Hopefully that wasn't giving up and retiring from his last race for a little bit. But DeWill in second place, with Wolfbane in third. My app crashed. Great. So Penguino's app has crashed. So after all of that, he's bit of blasphemy in the chat there from Penguino. That is unfortunate, Penguino. Hopefully we won't be long until we see you back in the Sunday Night League as a regular driver. Definitely had a fantastic season overall. It's a shame that it's ended up with a retirement in the final race of this Sunday Night League GTE Championship Season 2. Season 3 is due to come to you in September. We have then got a special one-off event, not this weekend coming, the weekend after, so we have a week off at the Nürburgring, the Nordschleife, with the Super GT cars and some GT cars possibly in the mix as well for a 2-category championship race. Matt Psycho in the pits then on lap number 11. That is a surprise. That is very early for him. Is he doing a 3-stopper? We've seen Matt Psycho do different strategies to his opponents this season. Come into the pit, so Wolfbane in second place with DeWill. DeWill now leading. We've seen him try to do... I'm sorry, it just all went downhill after my first mess up. That's okay, Penguino. Suzuka is one of those circuits. If you lose your rhythm, it's very hard to get it back. Matt Psycho onto the soft tyres. Daz coming into the pits as well for Alfa Romeo. Mika saying she expected the first stop around lap 13, so these are very early then, according to Mika. Whether they can see something on the radar, we don't know. That's it. If there's rain coming, if they can put some soft tyres on now and then extend out their stint on soft tyres, we will see. But Pat put himself up into 9th place now, so he jumped back ahead of Daz. Daz putting the hard tyres on because he's in the Alpha. That's what he has to do. He has to run the mediums and the hards. It's the same for the Mitsubishi drivers as well. They've got to run hards. Wolfbane also hards. So these two cars chasing down Matt Psycho have to run the hard tyre. Matt Psycho has to run the soft. Matt Psycho is on the soft tyres and he's 20 seconds behind Wolfbane, 21.2 seconds behind the race leader DeWill. So we've seen Matt Psycho. He's not filled it up either. He's only filled it up to about halfway. So Matt Psycho probably doing 8 laps on those. Do we think? Probably 8 laps on those tyres, so not a long stint for Matt Psycho. He's looking like he's going to go softs towards the end of this race. I think he's done his medium stint and will run the softs. Wolfbane into the pits then in his Alfa Romeo. His team waiting for him, but DeWill keeps going. DeWill running on the mediums. Will DeWill do a one-stopper? We've seen him do it before. At Spa, he was on the one-stopper, and also last time out at Lego, he pulled off the one-stop strategy as well to finish in 4th place. It was an impressive run to 4th for DeWill. He's had those all season, very consistent. He's up there again, leading the race. At Psycho, though, closing the gap down. He's on soft tyres, pushing hard. With Digweed in the other Mitsubishi in 3rd place. So as it stands right now, Mitsubishi looking very strong, but the Mitsubishi drivers have not stopped. Cinnamod up in 4th place in his Genesis as the cycle of pit stops are happening. He doesn't look like he'll be stopping anytime soon though. Bun is in 5th, having a bit of a wobble through the S's, so he's going to get caught up by Wolfbane, who's back on the medium tyres. He's got a full tank of fuel as well in his Alpha. So he's not doing what his teammate did. Daz put the hard tyres on. Wolfbane has put on the mediums again. Aloe still on his mediums from the start of the race. Pat's on mediums now after his pit stop. Daz there on the hard tyres. His right indicator on. As Daz. Driving through the S's, the Alfa Romeo driver. Hopefully we'll see Daz for season number 3, and Daz will be hoping to be in more competitive machinery as well. He has been able to drive his car really well at Lego. The speed has been there or thereabouts. We've got Rob on drums fighting with Tiger. I believe Tiger's just done his pit stop to go on board with the man that is second into this race, but as it stands he will be 3rd in the championship standings because De Will leapfrog him. Tiger had a bit of an issue at the start of the race. He was challenging at the front of the pack and then had an issue, went off the circuit and has then just been unable to find the lap time since then. Tiger has all the pressure on Rob on drums running wide into Spoon, and Tiger puts himself up into 10th place in the Nissan. Chris Boo, I wonder what he is thinking. His team were coming into this race joint leaders of the championship. Matt Psycho setting 159.5 in race conditions, so Matt Psycho flying again on those softs. De Will in 1st place. He's being chased down by Matt Psycho. He's going 3.5 seconds quicker than De Will at this stage in the race. Digweed will be coming into the pits this lap. He's still got pressure from Cinnamod in 4th. So Cinnamod stepping in for Jim at Genesis. He's enjoying that car. Race Against Dementia has been on the side of it. That is Endurance Nut inspired by Jackie Stewart, who has his wife unfortunately suffering from dementia. So Endurance Nut Racing. Hopefully we see Endurance Nut next season in season number 3 of GTE as a team boss. As I said, Pat is coming back as a team boss. There he is in 6th place in his Hyundai. So the shuffle actually, Pat is up into 6th again. So it's going pretty well for Pat and Hyundai. But Mitsubishi have got Digweed in 3rd, although Digweed looks like he's run very deep. I think he has. I think Digweed has run out of tyres. He's hit the barrier as well. Digweed has gone off at the triangle and has been jumped by Cinnamod. So the pressure of Cinnamod really telling on Digweed. So Cinnamod jumps Digweed as Wolfbane gets himself up into 3rd now. It's a 22-second gap between him and Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho, though, is doing an extra stop. I think we saw this at... Where did we see this? We saw this at Dragon Trail, where Matt Psycho did an extra pit stop to everybody else, but just flew. He used the soft tyres 3 times. And just set quicker lap times than anybody else. At this stage in the race, he is lapping 4 seconds a lap quicker than the race leader. That is phenomenal pace. He looks on schedule to make it 5 out of 5. Unless De Will can pull something special out of the bag. He is going to go long on this stint, and then he'll go onto the hard tyres. That's the issue though. De Will go onto the hard tyres. He has to get to lap 20, I would have said, to make this a viable option. But by that time, Matsuka will already be in the lead ahead of him. It's only 2 more laps and Matsuka will be all over the back of the race leader. So he runs a little bit wide coming out of 130i. He is pushing hard, trying to get the speed down for the triangle. And he does. Matsuka gets the speed down. Wolfbane then in 3rd place, setting his best sectors in his Alfa Romeo. Pat up into 4th after all of the shuffles. So he pitted very early though. He pitted on lap number 8 in the Hyundai on the softs. But he's got himself in 4th place. So as it stands at this point in time, Hyundai, I believe, win. No, it would be Mitsubishi if De Will won. But let's maybe swap those 2 around. Hyundai would be the winners of the team championship. Although, would they? Because we've got Rob on drums running in 12th place, which is 5 points. So Mitsubishi, though, still looking strong. As it stands, so they've got 3 cars in the race. But then again, Gasman would have 3 points to Rob's 5. So halfway through this race, not quite yet. So it's going to be a longer race here at Suzuka than our hour and 5 minutes, hour and 10. It's probably looking more likely to be. Cinemod keeps himself in 5th place with Digweed there in 6th, but Digweed has got the pressure of Bunnies and Das is just behind as well. So they are pushing hard through the S's. We've seen Digweed make errors before out of the S's. He's under a lot of pressure from Bunnies. Bunnies in 7th place. Bunnies looking up the inside of Digweed. He gets past Bunnies, Digweed. And through deck number 1 goes Bunnies. He's got himself up into 6th place. With Digweed in 7th and Daz looking pretty strong on those hard tyres. The hards are looking good here. And Tiger in 9th, so 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th very close to each other. On board with Tiger going down towards Spoon. See Bunnies, his teammate, up ahead. Digweed and then Daz ahead of us. So they're covered by just about 3 seconds between those 4 cars. Maybe 2.5. The race leader is De Will, but he's only 3.6 seconds ahead of Matsuka. He is going to pit this lap, so he can't do a one-stopper with this strategy, surely. Maybe he does a very short hard stint. Maybe he runs the hards for 1 lap. I don't know though. Judging by the speed of his mediums at the end of this stint, I'd be tempted to run the hards maybe for as short a stint as I can and then get back on the mediums. It's gone very long though. He's got 17 laps in his Mitsubishi, but he's got Matsuka just 2.5 seconds down the road from him. Matsuka is going to have to stop again very shortly, maybe another 2 or 3 laps. Will put De Will in a strong position, but Wolfbane, I think, will have jumped De Will. There's a 30-second gap between Wolfbane and Pat. Pat still there in 4th place on his mediums in his Hyundai. It's Pat having a very strong race as De Will comes into the pits and Matsuka comes past him. So no tank, no fuel left in that tank in the Mitsubishi camp. Well, it's good to see that the boys have lights down there in the pit lane. It's always great to see. We saw that at Austria. They don't have lights in the pit lane for the guys. So there we go. De Will getting his fuel. Matsuka leading the race then. He's dropped down into 2-minute lap times. Wolfbane getting past De Will. So the strategies now are all slightly different between the top 4 cars. In fact, the top 5. The Cinemod is there. De Will putting the hard tyres on now. And he's put a full tank of fuel. I think De Will's going for till the end of the race now. I don't personally think that's the best option though. Because he's going to be going a lot slower. He's on the slower tyre as well. Sometimes it's best to be on the quicker tyre and doing the extra stops. Pat there in 4th place. It's only 18 seconds behind De Will. And the lap time difference, he could put himself into contention for 3rd place. Pat driving very well at this point in the race. Cinemod in 5th place. It's a brave man that tries a 17-18 split here, says Mika. Definitely is. Cinemod setting an incredible first sector as Pat's gone wide. Oh, Pat! Pat coming out the S's has run wide a little bit. That right front looking a little bit more chewed up. Cinemod on the softs in his Genesis. Running well. Pat State coming out the S's. He's got a bit of gap between him and Digweed, who's dropped Daz. Daz actually dropping behind Bunnies, although he looks to make the move. No, he cannot make the move at the hairpin. These Nissans not having the best of home races. Bunnies in 7th and 9th for Tiger. Chris Boo, the team boss. Chris Boo is coming back for season 3 as a driver. We know. Cars looking fantastic. It's always sad the last race of the season because this is the last time we'll see these cars in GTE for a little bit. So season number 3, any car that was in season 1 or 2 will not be seen. So no Nissans, no Alphas, no Hyundais, no Genesises, and Mitsubishis. There's still plenty of good cars left to pick for the team bosses. So lots of chances for them to scout out their best pick. Aloy in 10th place. Brakes are glowing for him in the Genesis. It's gone a little bit awry at the end of the season for Aloy. Started it off very strongly. Down in 10th now. Rob Holland runs in 11th. He got pole position in the first round at the Red Bull Ring. He's currently in 11th. Matt Psycho though leads the race, but he's pitting on this lap, so he's only doing a very short stint. He's got 16 laps left then. Will he go? He must be going onto the softs and just running 8-lap stints. I suspect that's the case, and if that's the case, I think he'll come out behind Wolfbane, but it will be very close. With Wolfbane running wide through 130R, but attacking the curbs. There's the Alpha driver. 12 seconds ahead of De Will. Matt Psycho still in the pits, so Wolfbane, I believe, will take the lead. Ooh, only just. There's Matt Psycho on the exit of the pit lane. And he is on soft tyres. And yes, he's going for 8-lap stints then. Matt Psycho deciding to do the extra pit stop. He's doing a Michael Schumacher at French Grand Prix in 2004. Running an extra lap. So he's going to do 2 pit stops more than De Will by the end of the race, if it stays dry. Just see the speed difference between Matt Psycho and Wolfbane. Wolfbane having to get on the brakes a little bit earlier, can't carry the speed quite as much as Matt Psycho. wonder if Wolfbane will fight this, or whether he'll think, actually, my race is not with you, Matt Psycho. My race is with DeWill. He will come out behind after his pit stop. So will Matt Psycho, but Matt Psycho... He's just got the pace though. We saw it earlier in the race, he was lapping 4 laps quicker, and now DeWill is on the slower tyre as well. So coming out of Spoon is all over the back of Wolfbane. What does Wolfbane do? Wolfbane's not fighting it too much, although it would be a brave move by Matt Psycho into 130R. He's got the better tyres on the inside. No, he backs out of it. Thinks better of it, but Wolfbane has a slide on the exit of the hairpin. So Matt Psycho all over the back of the Alfa Romeo. Wolfbane knows Matt Psycho is there. Does he defend down the straight? Yes, he does. He's not letting Matt Psycho have the inside line. Matt Psycho knows Wolfbane is a hard defender. These two fought for each other for the Formula X Championship at Suzuka. Wolfbane won the championship that day. They're not in the championship this season. He's team boss due to fitness through the summer. Here he is, leading Matt Psycho. The two foes from Formula X fighting hard at the front of this GTE field for the lead. Pat is in the pits, but we're staying with the lead battle. Matt Psycho is pushing a lot more. They're on board with the championship leader and basically the two-time champion now in GTE. 34 tokens. This is what gets 34 tokens in GTE. It gets you a driver's title and will get you a team's title. It's DeWill in third in the Mitsubishi. Where has Digweed gone? Digweed's dropped down, but we've got Matt Psycho's got the better run on Wolfbane coming out of Spoon. This is his best chance. He's ahead before they get to 130R. Wolfbane is going to have to concede the position. He does, although he doesn't. He has a bit of a look at Matt Psycho. He pushes him a little bit wide on the exit. Matt won't enjoy that too much. He defends the inside line, which means Wolfbane will get a better chance out of the corner. Not quite though. Gets a bit of a slide on. And now Matt Psycho driving away from Wolfbane. So Wolfbane has held up Matt Psycho for a couple of laps. Now he's got to hold on to the coattails. As Matt leads. Wolfbane has dropped a little bit of time to DeWill, but DeWill in the hards for Mitsubishi. Cinnamod in fourth place in his Genesis. With Tiger in 5th now, so Tiger's moved himself up the field. Daz in 6th, Bunny 7th, Aloe 8th, 9th is Pat, 10th is Digweed. Digweed has made a pit stop. So that is where Digweed dropped down. So Digweed in 10th, his teammate Rob on drums in 11th place. Who's getting the blue flags now because Matt Psycho is coming out of the hairpin. Already got a 2-second lead, nearly 3-second lead over Wolfbane. That just shows you the difference between the tyres here at Suzuka. You can see the lights of Rob on drums. You can hear the screech of Wolfbane sliding that Alpha, pushing hard. He's got to try and keep the pressure on, but he's losing time to DeWill. DeWill on the hard tyres, setting his lap times and setting deltas, trying to go for the one stopper here at Suzuka. It's a very tricky thing to do. is down in 9th place, Mika. There he is, he's just done a pit stop on lap 20 and 21. So he's back on the soft tyres. He's setting his personal bests. So the strategies are all slightly out of sync. Digweed has also made a pit stop. As you can see, the race leader's catching him up. As Matsuko has got Rob on drums ahead of him. Going through the S's. He's already got a 5-second lead over Wolfbane. It's Rob on drums trying to let Matsuko through in the S's. That's a very tricky thing to do, but great to see Rob on drums do that. Compromised his race. So he didn't compromise Matsuko. Degner 1 and Degner 2 for the race leader. You can see the other Mitsubishi up ahead. We've got 13 laps of this race. Wolfbane currently just dropping back from Matsuko now, 5.5 seconds down. He's on medium tyres though, these are the softest tyres he can run. De Will is on the hards. We think De Will is going to the end of this race. As it stands, Matsuko will stop and have to overtake De Will on track. Matsuko's setting times, they're about 3 seconds a lap quicker than De Will. So it would be an almighty defence by De Will to stop Matsuko. Unless it rains. The threat of rain is in the air, although looking at that sky, it is very light here in Suzuka, despite the darkness. Cinnamod in 4th place in his Genesis, having a good race on his own. In the middle of nowhere, he's about 18 seconds up on Tiger and 21 seconds down on De Will. So just setting times on his own, keeping it consistent, keeping it on the track. That will be his aim. Here's the top Genesis. So we've got top 5 different cars, with Tiger there in the Nissan. 6th place is Daz, who is not too far behind Tiger's Nissan. Tiger had an issue at the start of the race, but then has not had the best of runs since then. He's not running on the softs either. He's leaving that until the end of the race. Last time we'll see that little Tiger as well at the back of that Nissan. That's one of my personal highlights this season. Not to say that the GTE Championship has been bad, it's just quite cute to see. It's waving. Can't go on board though and see it. There it is, just on the back, at the right side, where the number plate would go, on a road car. Daz in 6th place, he's just lapping a little bit slower than Tiger in front of him, but he is on the hard tyres. So he's keeping it very competitive. He's had an up and down season, that's safe to say. Disconnect at round number 1, 10th place at round number 2, round number 4 on the podium. And now he's running in 6th place, but he will be pitting at the end of this lap, it would appear. So another great season. Well, great season, but up and down some great performances, shall we say, from Daz. Showing his quality, and hopefully we will see him again in season number 3 in more competitive machinery. Bunny's in 7th place. Very odd race from Bunny's here. He's on the soft tyres, he's worn them out as well. So 7th place, normally a very consistent driver, but maybe not a fan of Suzuka. Full spoon, left-hander. Never-ending left-hander. Oh, those front tyres have really had enough on Bunny's car. He's got Pat behind him. Pat has stopped already, so Pat will climb the field again as everybody else makes their stops. And Lowy in 9th, so Lowy, his tyres are looking very warm. 12 on his last lap, so he lost about 10 seconds. So he'd been fighting with Pat. He hadn't made that mistake. Digweed there in 10th place. He pitted on lap number 21, I believe. Some very slow laps there. As well as we have Daz and Bunnies both pitting. So Daz and Bunnies, Daz just got ahead as Pat jumps them both. Going down the main straight, so we have 11 laps of the season left. The Will is setting 2:02.7s compared to Wolfbane's 2:02.6s. So that hard tyre is looking pretty good. Matt Psycho though going 2 seconds a lap quicker. But he'll be stopping soon. Wolfbane will be pitting this lap. So Wolfbane will be going onto the hards on this lap, because he has not run them so far in this race. It's going a short stint. 10 laps on the hard tyre for Wolfbane. I was going to say he hasn't stopped, but there we go. He pits in now. So DeWill will jump him in the Mitsubishi. DeWill will take the lead of the race, but as I say, Matt Psycho has more than enough pace to overtake DeWill. DeWill sets another lap time of 2:02.9. So he's around that 2:02, 2:03 mark. But Matt Psycho setting 2-minute lap times. He's set a 1:59.3 on lap number 22. So he's flying along, Mr. Hyundai driver. Does look like nobody can stop him here at Suzuka. That'll be 5 wins on the bounce then. Matt Psycho can't make a Nordschleife race, a one-off race. So it won't be 6 out of 6 in SNL events for him. I'm sure he'll be back for GTE season number 3. Go Aloy and Cinnamod, says Penguino. Cinnamod is in the pits as Tiger takes 4th place now. So Tiger moving himself up, but he will be stopping at the end of this lap. We've just been run over by Cinnamod. Since the camera just went inside the Genesis. Just been inside Cinnamod. Don't know if that's a nice thing or not. There's Pat in 6th place. Putting the pressure on now. Racing to the end. Well, Pat might have to do a little stop at the end of this race. Unless he's bargaining on some wet weather. Daz in 7th. I wonder, given the season he has had, whether he'll take 7th place. We've got on board with Bunnies. Clobbering the curve a little bit too much for the S's. A little bit, but you can see the Alpha. It's a nice little car is the Alpha through the corners. It's just very aggressive. It is though a lot more speed than Daz. Daz is on the medium tyre compared to Bunny's on the soft. Well, Daz sliding a bit more, but Bunny's put off by Daz slightly. Daz under pressure though as we go down towards the hairpin. Daz is defending against Cinnamod's, against Bunnies, but Bunnies going around the outside. Can he make the move stick? This would be a fantastic move by Bunnies. He does. Bunnies moves himself up into 7th place, up on the inside of 200R. And there we go, into Spoon. Bunnies has taken 7th place, showing the difference in the tyres. The softs and the mediums at this point of the stint. The soft you can have to run away with whilst you've got the grip. Tiger coming into the pit, and so is Pat. So Pat coming in. So Pat's probably going to try and jump Tiger? Maybe? We'll see though. Cinnamod up into 4th place again. So the Genesis up there. Wolfbane 21.5 seconds behind DeWill. So DeWill, I think, has got 2nd place in the bag here. Matt Psycho, though, will be pitting this lap. 8 laps left. Matsuko is going to have to overtake on track, I believe. Or will he just be in the pits long enough? No, I think he'll come out ahead of DeWill. Actually, I think he will. Or will it be? No, maybe 5 seconds behind DeWill. Matsuko getting fueled up. Here comes DeWill then. DeWill will take the lead. Off he goes. He is on those hards. He's got half a tank of fuel left, so he can start pushing a bit more. I should think. Yeah, so Matsuko 4 seconds behind. So based on the previous laps, Matsuko will be with him very quickly. In third for Alfa Romeo, fourth then for Cinnamon. Fifth place is Tiger, who's now on the soft tyres. Bunny's in sixth, so Nissan have suddenly got themselves into fifth and sixth place. That would give them 30 points, so not enough to get the championship for Chris Blue. The Mitsubishi boys are currently, as it stands, on 38 points, and that compares to Hyundai, who are on 37 points, I believe. Yes, 37 points as it stands. So basically, Matsuko has to overtake DeWill for Hyundai to take the team championship. That is what it's all about. The team championship then is going to be decided in the last 7 laps of the Sunday Night League GTE Championship. Last season's championship was a tie-break between the Corvettes and the Lexus, and Corvette won it on countback with 1 win by Matsuko at Spa in the opening round. Here, we're going into the final few laps, and as it stands, Cool Dude Boys Mitsubishi team will win the championship by 1 point. But Matsuko is on a mission to get the team's championship for Hyundai and Gasman. Matsuko closing up. It should be like taking candy from a baby, but we don't know. Maybe DeWill knows what's at stake. He's going to make this Mitsubishi as wide as he possibly can. Matsuko has the better exit, but can he make it into the hairpin? He backs off a little bit actually. So he'll be going for the exit and possibly into Spoon. No, he can't make a move into Spoon, but maybe towards 130R. You see Matsuko already overtake someone there in this race. That was Wolfbane for the lead of the race. So DeWill has got it all to do. He's got hard tyres, and they're very old now as well. They are 13 laps, they are 12 laps old. Matsuko is going to take the lead though. Matsuko down into 130R. He will take the lead then from away from Mitsubishi. Yes, he makes the move and gets it done before they get into 130R. Matsuko leads then from DeWill. That is critical then in terms of the team's championship. Because that means that Hyundai are now on 40 points. And Mitsubishi are on 37. So that swing, it's a 4-point swing. Sorry, 4-point swing. 6-point swing between those position changes. Suzuka leading this race then. 6 laps to the end then for that race. De Will though will keep the pressure on, although Suzuka is lapping about 2 seconds a lap quicker, so it's going to be tricky for De Will to keep that pressure on. But De Will is in 2nd place in that Mitsubishi. Hopefully we'll see De Will in season 3 of GTE. He's been a very good addition to the championship. He made his debut at Le Mans in our team endurance race, and he's taken that Mitsubishi and has put it on the podium. And to do it again, he's been very quick as well. He could have won a couple of races earlier in the season, or challenged Suzuka more at the first few races. He made a couple of errors, but here he's driven very well. He's going to be ahead of Wolfbane, who's in 3rd place, sort of on his own. 22.5 seconds behind De Will and 28 seconds ahead of Cinnamon. So a big gap has developed there. Setting good times though, 2:02.8 for him. Cinnamon a little bit quicker than him though on the soft tyres. In 4th. Tiger and Bunnies in 5th and 6th. They'll take that. They're setting good times as well on those soft tyres. 2:02.3 by Tiger on his last lap. And he's on his pace again. Bunny's in 6th. He did a 1:59.385. So close to taking the fastest lap off Suzuka. That's 83 thousandths of a second off Suzuka's time. So Bunny's pace has been there, it's just the consistency hasn't. A bit of a scruffy start to the race. Maybe the same for Tiger as well. Maybe it's a case of what might have been for the 2 Nissan drivers. Daz is in 7th place. He's got the pressure though from Pat, who's in 8th. Pat will be pushing hard. He'll be looking to get 7th place off Daz. He's got medium tyres on, so has Daz. On board with Pat, going towards 1:30. The rain has not come, which has been very surprising. So we've not seen rain very often this season in GTE. We saw it briefly at Austria, and it was a very strange type of rain. It didn't probably rain at all. And that's it. A few brief spits of rain, 10 laps I think, all in total. Says Mama Sykes. Mama Sykes does not want rain. Mama Sykes is watching her boy leading the race. Oh, we've got Pat and Daz though having a big fight with each other through the S's. Daz feeling the pressure from Pat. Fighting for 7th place. Aloe in 9th in his Genesis. Digweed down in 10th. It's just been a bit of a strange race for Digweed. He's on the medium tyres. Oh, and then sliding off, and Rob Androns is on the hard. Has Digweed done the medium? The hard tyres? I can't remember seeing him on them. That's like I'm setting purples on lap 32. Is it starting to get a bit lighter? We're going through the whole night cycle. I think we are. I think the sun is rising here now. Suzuka. De Will in 2nd place. Yes, I think the sun is rising now in the land of the rising sun. So we've raced through the night at Suzuka. De Will in 2nd place. Strong season by him. The Frenchman doing very well here in Sunday Night League. Wolfbane in third place. Pushing himself. He's losing a little bit of time to Cinemod, but Cinemod is 6 seconds down the road on his own, trying to keep within a minute of the race leader though. That was the gap between first and second last time out. So one they go, such a margin, right, of which we haven't seen for a very long time in the Sunday Night League. Tiger in fifth. Just a bit ahead of his teammate Bunnies. But Daz has got the pressure slightly reduced from Pat. Pat having to back off a little bit, it looks like, on the last lap, losing half a second, but it's still very close between the two. Going off again into turn one. Up on drum setting his personal bests as well. So that's like leading the race through the S's. 9 seconds in the lead. He's doing 2 more stops than the driver in second place. He's catching up with Aloe. This puts a lap on the Genesis driver. He was in 9th place on the road. Frenchman in the Mitsubishi. Let's just have an update of Pat and Daz on board again with chauffeur Pat. Just losing a little bit of time to Daz now, just pulling back ever so slightly. They will do 35 laps, I believe. Just still got 3 more laps for these two. Not over yet. A little bit wide out turn one though. Slow moving car ahead of us though. That's Bunnies. Bunnies really struggling. Bunnies has been off. He's really having trouble putting the power down. His soft tyres are ruined by the looks of them. Daz is going to have an opportunity to overtake the Canadian. The Alpha driver is going to push for 6th and then trying to run away from Pat. He's going to drag Pat towards Bunnies though. Bunnies recovered, it looks like, from his issue, coming out of the S's. I suspect Bunnies doesn't like Suzuka, judging by tonight. And if he did like it, he possibly doesn't now. Daz running wide, that means Pat has an opportunity. We are on board with Pat, who dives up the inside of Daz and takes 7th place. It's the Hyundai driver, takes the opportunity of Daz's mistake, puts himself up into 7th, but Daz is in 8th and he's in the slipstream in his tiny little Alpha. Daz made a mistake into Spoon. Pounced on by Pat. Oh, Daz running a little bit deep as well into the Casino Triangle and getting a poor exit. Daz dropping back as Pat 2.2 seconds behind Bunnies. Bunnies having trouble into turn number 1. Let's see how he does this time round. And just keep it pointing the right way. Definitely doesn't have the confidence that the driver's chasing him. Matt Psycho goes into his final lap. Leading here at Suzuka. It has been plain sailing for him. He's done a 4-stop strategy. Sorry, a 3-stop strategy. strategy, full stint strategy. And it looks like he will get the job done for Hyundai. It also looks like Hyundai will take the team's championship as well. Matt Psycho just going through Degner 2 and under the crossover. Simply goes over the top. There is DeWitt in second place, going through the hairpin. A very brilliantly thought out strategy. A one-stopper. It is half a minute up on Wolfbane, but just no match to Matt Psycho. He was able to do 2-minute lap times. Done so already, like, share and subscribe to Sunday Night League. We are here in 2 weeks time for the Nordschleife as Matt Psycho goes into the Casino Triangle for the last time, and he comes out onto the final corner. He's already celebrating. He knows what this means. He wins here at Suzuka, and with that victory he ensures that Hyundai become the team champions as well. Congratulations to the Season 2 champion Matt Psycho and the team's champions DeWitt, second place for Mitsubishi, and with that he secures second place in the driver's title as well. Wolfbane will be getting third place for Alfa Romeo, so that is another podium for the Alfa Romeo boss. Ain't no stopping that man. Oh, Wolfbane has lost it massively. Oh, that's not the way you want to finish a race. Fortunately, he has got a 27-second lead over Cinnamod. Oh, dearie me. That's one way to celebrate, by going off completely. There we go, Wolfbane in third. Let's see how much time he lost then to Cinnamod. Cinnamod running wide into 130R as well, coming out of the exit. Let's see what he does. Wow, that was hard work, says Matt Psycho. It is very hot here in the UK as well, so Matt Psycho will have become a puddle, I suspect. There we go. Cinnamod in fourth place, he'll be happy with that. Tiger in fifth. Considering how bad this race looked like it could have gone, he'll be happy. Sixth place, Bunnies, and he's got the pressure of Pat all over the back of him. Matt Psycho saying DeWitt and Wolf, awesome race. Bunnies there in sixth place. He's going to hold on from Pat, I think, unless he runs out of fuel out of the final corner, which he could possibly do. Oh, very tight. 1.1 tenths between Pat and Bunnies at the end. Daz coming across the line in 8th place for Alfa Romeo. Aloe is there in 9th place. 10th is Digweed, and 11th is Rob on drums. So that is the Sunday Night League. That is GTE Season 2 all over. Great season, says Matt Psycho. Thanks all. And Drivers' Champion again. Second season in a row. A bit easier this time. All the races won by Matt Psycho as well. First time ever in the Sunday Night League that anybody has done that. Some excellent racing there, all up and down the field, says Mika. Hard race that one, says Pat. Brilliant, great, brilliant, well done, Matthew. Super results, well done, guys. Super commentary jam. Great job, Matt and Pat, says Gazman. That is the result Hyundai were looking for. DeWitt, though, fantastic result for him. A one-stop strategy. It nearly worked for DeWitt. And Wolfbane in third. So there we have him. Hyundai lights are rubbish, says Matt Psycho. But it didn't stop him winning. I didn't help myself, made a few daft mistakes, says Pat. But there we go. part of the team championships. Matt Psycho winning there as well. The Sick Children's Trust on the back of his overalls. Please go to their website, donate if you can. So, that is it for Season 2 of GTE here at the Sunday Night League. Thank you everybody that has supported us through this season. Thank you everybody who's liked, shared and subscribed to the channel. It really makes a big difference. It really makes us feel good as well. Thank you everybody involved. So Hyundai look to be team champions. Matt Psycho is the driver's champion. Thank you everyone for watching. It's been a fantastic season. We will be with you in 2 weeks' time for the Nordschleifer one-off, and then back in September for GTE season number 3 with all new cars and all new drivers as well. I'm sure we'll have a few new drivers popping up for that. So thank you everybody that's watched our videos this season. Thank you again and good night.